Yay.
Oh my god, we're live!
Good God.
It's alive! I don't know. God, I wonder if that's how dark it is in normal people's screen. Your head is just sort of there, and you don't have a body. Because it's so dark.
Yeah, it's so dark you can't tell the difference between my black jacket and my brown shirt.
It's just...
You just all looks black. It looks like I'm wearing a coat of darkness.
Yes.
Someone just texted me.
I got a text message. I need to silence that phone.
You need to find out whether it's something important.
Shane Parker.
Why?
Mwahaha.
Mwahaha?
Oh!
What?
He got his magic box in.
Yeah, when we were playing Borderlands, he was talking about expecting a package today. Yep. Yeah, he's always expecting a package.
I sent him a package.
God.
In the mail. What are you thinking? Gosh, what's wrong with you? Pervert.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, yeah, we've been live.
Let's do this thing.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me, minimize. Damn it, come on. Let me minimize you. Minimize. Well, Dusty. Everything else cool?
Record. Yep. Hit record.
La 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 la.
Sybilus.
What?
Sybilus. Oh.
What syllabus? We have a syllabus?
Syllabus.
Oh, crap. No.
Go.
Alright.
Record.
Live.
Hello!
What's up, people?
And welcome to the Fourcredits podcast for July the 1st, 2013. Yes, we are officially in the month of July.
Uh-huh. Yeah, now June was sort of a, well, we sort of had a June gloom here at the podcast, so,
Up and down. But we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
It is what it is.
We're back. Got my back. Right here. And
Baby,
the rest of us as well.
Yes. Okay. Well,
yeah.
this is Fourcredits podcast where we talk about everything gaming and everything not gaming apparently, because that's half of what we end up talking about throughout the day.
We're excited because it's the first time in a few weeks where nothing's gone technically horrible for us. So
Well, actually it has.
back in order here.
Actually it has.
Wait, what happened? Oh, that's right. Well, you're not hearing sound from your computer, but besides that, everything else is working fine.
No! I was meeting about the Las Vegas trip coming up.
Oh, well,
yeah.
We're still gonna do it. We'll still have coverage from it. That's not changing.
Yeah, but it's all relying on me now.
Well, and our intern. We'll just make sure our intern does a good job of coverage. Sure. We'll get able to play the games with you guys.
Yes,
it's just that I won't be able to go to the panels.
You won't be able to go to the panels. You won't be able to go into the VIP rooms. You won't get a VIP swag bag. You won't get.
Right. But we kind of didn't want.
You won't get in an hour before to try out everything.
Oh, what to do?
Oh,
God forbid I would. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. Enjoy Las Vegas more. Sorry.
You're gonna be sitting in a line outside of the place while we're inside. Running around like children.
Heck nah.
Just like children. I'm not even going to say like in some place. They just...
Children.
Children just run, okay?
Children.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing.
Like children.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but the difference is I only have to pay $35.
I paid $65.
Oh, because you had a lot of points.
Damn straight!
I apparently didn't even have enough points for them to even prompt me to ask. So... So yeah, I even put my rewards thing and it still ended up being the same. I was like, really? This sucks. Yeah, I know. I apparently only have like 2,000 points or something.
You need 5,000 just to get $5 off?
Wow.
I had 27,000, so I was able to get $25 off.
Well, then there you go. That thing's designed for you and no one else.
Well, I did have a Wii U purchase off of it, and a 3DS XL off of it, and many other things over the time.
I had... You're going to laugh at this. I had a brief moment where I was looking at a GAF thread, and I had a moment of weakness where I went onto Amazon and thought for a second, should I buy a PlayStation Vita? I ultimately...
What is wrong with you? That is a very weak moment. I mean, over a 3DS, you're going to choose to get a Vita?
I was thinking like that if I eventually get a PlayStation 4, it would be cool to have a Vita. Because then it would be everything that I bought on the PS4 I'd be able to take with me.
Dude, speaking of Sony products that people don't use yet, Yeah. The PS Vita counts as something people don't use yet.
As a segue, I like it.
I've seen a lot of YouTube videos for a lot of Sony products coming out that look so good. Oh my god, dude, the Sony Xperia, that phone looks like a beast.
Probably is.
It is waterproof on its own.
Yeah.
No case needed.
They're doing that with the Galaxy S4 waterproof thingy. I saw an ad for it on television.
The Galaxy S4 is not waterproof.
Well, no, but they have a waterproof. No, it's not a case. It's a waterproof version of the phone. They're marketing it separately. It's the Galaxy S4, but with like I forget the tagline for it, but yeah, it's like a special model version that's supposed to be waterproof. In the ad, they show the phone, which looks just like a Galaxy S4, except with a blue kind of outside.
The Xperia screen is supposed to be like, I forget, it's like 5 or 6 inches for the screen. It's like...
yeah. Is it still, but it's not like the other Xperia where it has like the PlayStation buttons on it, does it?
I was too impressed with the waterproof stuff. I sort of just lost it after that. I was like, oh my god, I'm totally going to drop this in water all the time.
On purpose.
On purpose. But no, also something really cool that they're coming out with, their Bluetooth headset. You know, that it will play the music from your phone and stuff, and it just looks really cool. I don't know. They put out a bunch of videos like 2 weeks ago.
And 4K TVs?
Yeah, 4K TVs. Those. Not really, because apparently they show stuff that your eye can't even catch.
What?
So apparently they're past the amount that your eye can absorb. So therefore you're not actually seeing 4K because to your eyes 4K doesn't exist.
Awesome. I don't know. Before I buy a 4K TV, though, with how expensive they are, I'd buy a car.
Actually, 4K is not that expensive.
Are they go down in price now?
There was a news on Kotaku a while, this is probably 2 weeks ago now, maybe a week and a half. I think it was a 42-inch 4K TV for $800.
Okay.
I mean, obviously it's a 42-inch TV, but hey, $800.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to be affordable. It's like Blu-rays, super expensive. The only way to get it was on the PS4, so that thing rose in value.
Yep.
And now they're cheap as can be.
Huh?
You can buy a Blu-ray player for probably $40.
Yeah, I've seen like a $60 player. That's probably the cheapest I've seen in a store.
Yeah.
You can probably get it online for like cheap.
Oh yeah, cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah, no. They don't sell them on Cheap Beach. They do not. There's a video game reference because this is a video game podcast.
That's right. Yeah, that brings us back.
But I haven't been doing too much in the gaming world this week.
Played some Deadpool.
I did play some Deadpool. It is not alive, it is dead, but no.
Played some Last of Us before it got cut off.
Oh, yeah, let's get some bad news into this podcast. Why not? As we talked about previously, the people who purchased The Last of Us at midnight, and
via the PlayStation Store.
Correct, and we're downloading it. Well, what do you think we did in the morning once it was completely downloaded? We started playing, not knowing that they would come out with a patch around noon that gives you the ability to save. Yeah. If you were playing beforehand, you did not have the ability to save your game. In fact, even after Matt finished the entire game, it did not prompt him to save. It just froze, apparently.
It froze. It's true.
So, I was probably about a little more than halfway through the game.
You were a little more than halfway.
And I tripped on a cable coming into my room, and it jingled the port that my PS3 was hooked up in.
Jingle?
Yeah, just a little nudge.
Just a jingle tingle?
Just a little nudge, and then all of a sudden, I heard a fan noise disappear. And in my heart, I just went, No! And I did that, like, that, close your eyes and you slowly peek because you're like, it can't be real. Oh my god.
That's the worst.
And my PS3 was turned off. So, if I want to, of course I want to play that game, but the problem is that now I have such a hatred towards it because I have to go through and do all that stuff over again.
Well, you can join me because I just started my hard playthrough. So if you want to join me on hard, we can suffer through this together.
Hey, Matt, I'm not going to join you on hard anytime.
You know what I mean.
but I think I will replay it.
Yeah. Because so far, it's faster the second time because you're not, you kind of know where stuff is. You can skip through the movies. So I'm to where I was like at hour 5, maybe the first time I played through. I'm like only on hour 2.5 because the cutscenes are pretty long.
What part are you at?
So I think I stopped playing when you have the encounter where I've done Ellie. You have the encounter where you see a clicker here, and then there's a clicker hanging out by a doorway, and there's these 2 normal zombies that are chilling next to him.
Oh, you're in that room.
That's where I stopped.
Where you're climbing through the buildings or whatever. You're like...
Yes. It's after you evade when you're going through the tunnel sewer stuff, yeah. That's not really a spoiler.
No, but I mean, like, some stuff is spoilers, so we're going to try to save a little.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I made it that far and hard, so we'll see. It's pretty hard. That being said, like for the difference, I mean, I'm going to talk about this more later, but it seems like the difference is that in normal, there's pretty much something in every room. In hard, there's like, most of the time you look in a room, there is nothing there. So it throttles your equipment more.
So it is more Dead Spacey now on how limited you are on ammo.
It limits you far more than I thought it would, actually. And it's interesting so far. Which makes me wonder what Survivor mode is, which is the ultimate mode. Yeah.
I don't want to now. No, I'll figure that out eventually.
Yes, we'll talk about Last of Us later when I review it. But
there was some game that also came out recently that had some incredibly hard mode on it that you had to beat without, like, what was that?
Dark Souls? Wait, no, that is the entirety of Dark Souls.
No, there was some... Shane and I were... No! BioShock!
Infinite.
Yes. There was apparently some... There's 1999. Which I still have not tried.
Yeah,
I still haven't gone to go back for my second playthrough yet.
I'm in the middle of my second playthrough, but I'm on the hard. So.
Speaking of finishing games, have you finished Infamous yet?
No.
You still haven't beaten that final boss?
As soon as I got Last of Us, that's all I've been playing.
Okay. We're hanging out tomorrow. You're finishing Infamous. Do you remember the storyline at all of that game?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Then the end is really good. If it hasn't already been spoiled to you around the internet, has it?
I think I probably read something at some point, but I don't remember. I can't recall it right now. So
okay, then I'm not going to spoil it.
It must not have settled.
Obviously, this wouldn't be a spoiler on the podcast because that game is almost 2 games old now.
We can spoil it,
but I'm not going to because you don't know yet, and I still can't believe you didn't finish that game because
Last of Us. That's what I've been doing with my PS3.
Yeah, that's all I've done with my PS3 in the past like 6 months. I played the trial for Ni no Kuni. I played... Oh, wow. Sorry. I played the demo for Dust 514.
Yeah. No, that's not the demo. That game is free to play. That is.
Sorry. That's right. It's just the multiplayer.
That is the entire game. Yeah. That is Dust 514.
Not even this. 514. The day
514.
Oh my god, that game is almost 2 months old.
Yes, it is. It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay.
You've been playing Vegas games on your Facebook. You've been playing Magic Gathering in real life.
I've been playing Magic the Gathering a lot in real life.
I saw also on Twitter you were playing 2014.
That's correct.
The game.
I was
actually a video game.
It is a video game. They make one every single year.
Yes, they do.
Starting
I played
probably
2013
like 5 years ago.
and talked about it for this podcast last year, if you remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, I played...
Which means this is... Oh, we've passed the year mark.
Oh, yeah.
We already knew that.
We already knew that. It was like 2 weeks ago that we passed it.
For reals.
Yeah, we're totally over a year long.
This is season 2 of Fourcredits podcast.
Oh, God.
We need new theme music.
Alright.
I'm kidding.
I mean,
unless you want to, but yeah, season 2.
I guess.
Season 2, now we have a website.
Talking about our colon, are we? Okay.
Yes, we have a website about a colon.
Ew.
I'll just post a picture of a colon tonight on the website. See who gets it.
That's disgusting. I'm pretty sure people would think we got hacked.
It's like, no, we'd probably get like Mike. Mike could probably send us a Facebook message like, why is there a colon on your... And he probably wouldn't even know what it was. It's like, why is there a stomach on your on your website? Why is there a spleen? Actually, we should just find a spleen.
No! They don't look good in real life, trust me.
Wait, how do you know?
Don't!
Just... You butchered somebody
So, anyways, video games. Yes, I've been playing My Vegas on Facebook because I'm still trying. I am very, very close. I'm probably a day of playing away from having our paid hotel room for both nights for when we're in Vegas. For GameStop Expo, I should say, coming up in August. That should be a lot of fun. You're not exactly excited.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like
Vegas.
no,
Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Yes, Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Because you can't say Vegas without saying Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah, it's a requirement.
I guess.
I'm excited to play games. Before though.
Oh my God! I get to play the Xbox One.
If they have it.
They do.
Okay.
That
They finally put up the panels, but it's confusing because they put up what the panels are going to be, and they put up the hosts of the panels, but they didn't say who is going to be on the actual panel.
Wait, so what are the panels?
If you go on to the registration website right now, there's one that's like I forget what it was. If they were more interesting, I'd probably remember them more, but they sounded kind of bland.
Really?
Yeah, there's like one that's just very vague, like industry panel or something. What the heck? H Games for girls?
What?
So there was also
that was
up there. H Games for girls. Oh, there we go. It's games for girls.
Anyways, let's go GameStop Expo 2013
Yeah.
panel.
Or I just went on the registration site and it said it below it.
That'd be cool.
Like if you scroll down. See, okay, it says,
Oh!
Future of Gaming panel, moderated by John Gladiosi, Forbes and Gamer.
Oh my God, it's moderated by GLaDOS!
Includes experts such as Ashley Sheets, who is a marketing person at GameStop. If that's really it, that sucks. And then the one later, just somebody from Congregate. and it says Epic, but it doesn't say who from Epic. So it's like,
well, it's not Cliffy.
We might just see the
oh my God.
we interviewed.
Oh my God!
How funny would that be? He's like, hey! Remember us?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember. Adam?
Yeah.
Adam?
Was
and
it Adam?
what was the girl's name?
Was it Adam?
I forget if it's Adam. But
Yeah. I don't know.
Shout out to those
Dude,
peeps.
wouldn't that be cool if we ran into them again?
That'd be funny.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, what's up?
Sup?
Yeah.
Although it's interesting that they're there. I wonder if they're going to be talking about video games, or they're going to be talking about hiring people to work on their hardware.
I don't know.
That will be an interesting thing to check out.
Dude, what if it turns out that Epic Games is partnering with GameStop to, like Nyko, make aftermarket hardware and stuff specifically for GameStop sales?
That'd be interesting. But see what I mean, though? Like, most of the panels, I don't know, they just don't interest me. Well, they don't have really people that I really want to hear from. So far. I don't care about somebody who writes for Forbes and Gamer Life. And I don't care about, especially don't care about somebody from Congregate.
Yeah, Congregate is the Flash games for GameStop. Isn't that what that is? Yeah.
It's the Flash game website that ended up getting bought by GameStop. So pretty much all I'm seeing is a bunch of GameStop people. And that's not exciting to me.
Except for Epic Games.
Yes, except for Epic.
Well, that we will have oh my God, dude.
No.
That we'll find out what they're doing there.
Maybe.
If they have a future in games. Technically, could their name still be Epic Games if they don't make games anymore?
We'll see, right? I mean, they still have to put out Fortnite. But after Fortnite is out, who knows what they're going to do.
Oh God, if that's all they talk about, it's going to be like,
I bet it is. I bet if they come as Epic Games, I bet they talk about Fortnite.
Well, it's only an hour-long panel, so...
See.
I have to think about that as well.
Man.
Oh yeah, you won't be able to get into the gaming tournament either.
No, I don't care. I wouldn't first say anyway. I like it says more panelists TBA. Like, when are they going to announce that?
The day before.
The day.
Well, we still have a month and a half.
Yeah, I know.
No, probably like almost 2 months.
Yeah, that's pretty
until
far away.
So we still have quite a bit of time. Actually, I got a notice from in my email that GamerCon is coming up and that the last day to get your pass is coming up. And in my head now I'm thinking like, I don't think I want to go to that.
We do
I was looking at the panels and it wasn't too exciting.
I don't know, what are the panels for that?
Let's see. Same thing. I wasn't really, memorable. Let's see if they even have it available.
This is great podcast material, by the way.
Oh, I know, dude.
Us discussing stuff.
Well, it's video games. That's what we do. Come on. Con schedule. It's a con. I tell you. They don't even, like...
They don't really say what it's going to be. No, those are just the rooms. Okay, so that's a red carpet party. That doesn't count.
There's, like, nothing.
Keynote speech. Doesn't say who's doing the keynote speech.
Electronic Arts.
Why do we think it's important to create more LGBT inclusive games? That's cool.
Not enough.
Twitch,
cool enough.
creating okay. Let's see, cosplay photography.
Anna's panel.
Yeah. Voice acting 101.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. No.
BioWare.
So you want to?
That's
BioWare.
Like the only thing I'm really interested in. Is
Awkward silences. Navigating problematic fandoms and fan spaces. That's interesting.
Not really.
To me, not to you.
Pokemon meet and greet weekend.
Pokemon. That'd be cool.
Actual Pokemon.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of...
No,
the fan of the fan facing one actually sounds kind of interesting to me. Journalist.
Wow, they're gonna have a Kickstarter at
Super Backer Breakfast. So,
if you were a backer of the Kickstarter, you get to go to breakfast. That
sounds kind of... Yeah.
This whole thing is not very...
the thing about romances in BioWare games. Oh, gaming journalism LGBT, past, present, future. I would go to that.
Yeah. They don't...
Sounds cool to me.
Okay, but no names for anyone on the panel.
No.
Same thing with GameStop.
Well, yeah, but this is even... The GameStop is even more vague. It's like, what are they going to talk about?
Well, that being said, GamerCon is right around the corner.
But yeah, anyways.
So, video games that you've been playing.
Me. Is it my turn?
I don't know. Is it your turn?
I don't know. Are you done? If you're done, then it's my turn. That's how this works.
I haven't bought it yet, but Trivial Pursuit became available on my phone. I kind of want to buy it.
Okay, I'm taking my turn. I don't care anymore.
Well, we already talked about The Last of Us a little. We'll review that later. What else have you been playing?
Well, one thing I didn't talk about, is that I've been playing multiplayer. But again, that's I can go into reviewy stuff about that. But let's just say that I've played that a lot.
Okay.
This week. And I popped in Borderlands 2 again today, trying to power level my dude to get up to 50.
Well, not to mention, there is a new DLC pack that just came out on
Tiny
last
Tina,
Tuesday.
Assault on Dragon something.
Which we're going to play tomorrow.
And, shoot, what else?
More Tiny Tina! Oh god, the best character besides Claptrap in that series.
I'm prepped because I downloaded all the compatibility packs up today, so I don't have to worry about
that. Did they work?
The compatibility pack? Yeah, worked totally fine.
So we didn't have a compatibility problem.
Also, my PS3 is updated to the newest firmware and is not bricked. So that's other good.
I have not done that to mine yet.
But we're talking about that in the news later. So there's no reason to be scared. The 4.6 is up, and
now it's gone.
The 4.5. Yeah. That's what I meant. I waited until that would happen. But.
So what happens to people that had the other one with theirs?
Sony. I was going to talk about this in the news, but Sony.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll say it. Say it.
There's a fix. So what else did I play then? Played more Tetris Blitz on the iPod. I finally beat Mike's score last week, and then the score reset.
Oh, and it's a good thing you have the iPod Touch now, actually, because guess what comes out next week?
What's up?
PVZ2.
Except it doesn't, because I was
also
going to wait till the news for this, but yes.
Oh, okay, you gotta save it.
There was a delay. You're bad at this.
I'm like, I have such good stuff to talk about. You're like, no, that's news. It's depressing. I'm like,
yeah, wait for it. Anyways,
it's about time.
What's that?
And it's actually not, because it's funny. The title is now comedic.
So bad. What else have I played?
I don't know, but the microphone would really like to hear it if you have played something.
I know.
You gotta speak right here, right around the mic. Make out with it, kiss it, make it your woman. Just talk to the mic.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Any of that.
Okay, well I will. No.
Trying to think. What else?
You've been playing too much Last of Us that you haven't really...
It kind of drowned everything else out.
Yeah. Which is fine, because it's a pretty good game, I'd say. Yeah, just a little bit.
We'll talk about that during the review.
Just a little bit. And I don't want to give away too much stuff about Deadpool, because I'll review that next week for you guys. Just to let you know I am enjoying it.
More so than the rest of the internet, apparently.
You know what? I think most of the internet doesn't understand the humor.
See, it's funny because all the reviews I read were like, Deadpool works, the humor works, the game doesn't. So, it's actually the opposite of what you just said. That's what I've been saying, at least.
To each their own.
Anyway. So, we got a couple weeks of news. So I'm going to kind of go over the last week's faster than this week's, just really quick, because it's kind of outdated now at this point. But, so the first thing was what we're going to talk about, PS3. PS3 had a firmware update a couple weeks ago that bricked some people's PS3s, gave them frozen consoles that they could no longer use. Sony pulled the patch as fast as they could, released a follow-up patch last Thursday that is the same update but flawless. Yeah. And by the way, if you're wondering, what the update was is it added something about trophy syncing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and keep talking about newsworthy stuff. I have to get some water because my throat is killing me.
You're dying.
So hold on 1 minute. Well, go ahead and keep up.
Let's keep going.
Keep going.
So the fix that Sony has been issuing for the bricked consoles is they will send you a thing to download on a USB stick, and you can supposedly put it on your USB in your PS3 console, and it should fix it. Otherwise, yeah, at least Sony's being proactive. You know, they're not pulling a Microsoft here. Another news, Hotline Miami 2 was announced, which is the sequel to Hotline Miami, which we talked about briefly on the show. Basically, top-down strategy shooter kind of thing, very violent, very 80s, kind of acid-washed, kind of crazy music and masks, and it was neat when it came out, and it kind of took everybody by surprise, so the fact that the sequel was announced, that's pretty cool. Next up, so some little news about PS4 stuff. PS4 users will have the option to download certain games, depending on developer support, to download either a single player or the multiplayer of a downloadable game first, before the other. So, for example, if you think Call of Duty, etc. is awesome in the PSN store for PS4, if you only want to take the multiplayer and you don't want to bother with single player, you can just straight up just download multiplayer and play that instead of having to download the whole game. So, I mean, it's something little, and I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft does something similar as well. But that's kind of a neat idea. I mean, there's a lot of experiences going either ways, actually. Where
you go either way?
Just wants to
I'm back!
Play the single player or just the multiplayer of the game. So this saves them precious gigabytes on their hard drive if they only want to play one of those things.
What are we talking about right now?
PS4 owners will have the option to either download a multiplayer or a single-player version of a game via PSN if the developer provides it. So I'm saying, so in the future, if you say you want to play Call of Duty, but you only want to play the multiplayer mode and you don't care about the campaign, you don't even have to download campaign. You can download multiplayer by itself, play that. Like I said,
for its own fees.
Well, yeah, obviously, but it would probably be cheaper than the whole game.
No, that'd be the only reason why that would happen.
Yeah. If you just want to...
Who plays those games for the campaign?
I don't know. I'm just saying. That was just the first thing that came to my mind.
No, I just think it's a funny concept, though. Who plays Call of Duty for the campaign?
Well, if they are, they're playing it wrong. Moving on. Microsoft... we kind of covered this to death about the Xbox One DRM reversal.
We did. There's no point in fighting it because the fanboys out there that didn't understand got it reversed, so now it's Xbox 362.
Yep. Or, more accurately, it's a PS4.
They're both the same thing now.
They're the same thing now.
That one was different, now they are the same.
Next up, I already kind of said that, the fix for the patch for the PS3 stuff. The next up one is actually, I thought this was kind of funny. So, you know how the FAA has those weird electronics on planes rules where you have to turn off your Game Boy when it's landing or taking off? Well,
they don't tell me what to do. I'm like, I just follow Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
I'll do what he does. I'll play my Words with Friends.
Words with Friends on the plane. Well, guess what? You won't probably have to worry about that for too much longer because it looks like the FAA has laid out plans over the next couple months about relaxing those restrictions. So, yeah.
Maybe because they don't do anything, and the only reason why they put up the restrictions was so that they would make people pay to use the phones on the airplanes in order to give the airlines more money?
Well, regardless of the reasons behind it, it's cool that you'll be able to not have to worry about that anymore, so that's cool. Moving on. So, after The Last of Us came out, I thought this is a giggle story. It's not really important news. So, actress Ellen Page, who is actually starring in her own game, Beyond Two Souls, I guess saw some footage of The Last of Us and said, hey, it looks like me! And she wasn't super happy about that. She basically said that she was disappointed in Naughty Dog and said that she doesn't appreciate them using her likeness in a game that she is not actively promoting.
Okay, first of all, get over yourself. Okay, now, I was really looking forward to Beyond Two Souls, but now after hearing this...
Yeah. Overreacting.
What the hell is she thinking?
Doesn't even really look like Ellen Page.
No. It was not portrayed as her. At any point did they ever say, hey, we're going to make this character look like such and such, you know? So there are some similarities. I bet every character that people have made in a video game that are human, have some sort of look-alike somewhere in the world. They're just not famous.
Yeah. So anyways, so there's that. And the last story is dated out of significance, so I'm going to skip it. It was something about PlayStation Network being down on last Tuesday. So, you're good.
It was.
Now, this next story I have to click on here to find out the exact date, because it has to do with a game that we mentioned just briefly. Plants vs. Zombies 2, which is set for...
We're going to go from Houston to Beijing.
Yes,
apparently.
We are.
Advertising for us to... We're not even in Houston. What the...
But yes. Beijing, your dream city, it says. But yes, Plants vs. Zombies 2, It's About Time, which was slated for a launch on July 18th for all iOS platforms, has been delayed until, according to the game's official Twitter feed, later in the summer. So who knows when that means. I'm thinking August.
That's depressing.
So that's kind of sad.
And I love how... Good job. I love how the title of the game is
It's About Time.
It's About Time, and then it didn't come out.
I know, right?
It's a little, I don't know, it's comically accurate.
A little bit. Anyways, so that's sad. In other sad news, so the company, Japanese company Atlas, which is known for Japanese RPGs, like they do the Shin Megami Tensei stuff, they did, like including Persona and all that stuff.
This is vodka.
No, it's water.
No, it's water.
Their parent company, Index, which is a stupid name for a company, I guess has filed for bankruptcy, which has a lot of people wondering what the fate of Atlas will be. So, that's kind of interesting.
Let me tell you, it's falling.
Atlas, he might be shrugging.
Atlas is falling. It's a movie. Never mind.
Anyways, so that happened. We'll see what happens with that, but it'd be kind of sad to see him go if that does mean they're in, because they're pretty much the only, company besides like From Software and Level 5. They're really making their name bringing over Japanese stuff,
From Software, also a stupid name.
From Software is a stupid name, I agree with you. But they're from something. Next up, Xbox One's Kinect will not work on PCs, so all those rumors about it being plug and play automatically, not going to happen. It's just going to be like the Kinect
Apparently the Xbox 360's was.
To a certain extent, yes. Is that it wasn't made for it, but there were drivers that people made that you could use it directly.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
In this case,
I never did it. So.
Yeah, in this case, Microsoft's basically saying, nope.
That's fine.
They're probably just going to make a PC version of it. That's my guess.
Microsoft already sells webcams, as you can see from the one that we are using. So, why not just keep them separate? I mean, that's what they're basically saying.
Keep them separated?
You gotta keep them separated.
Anyways. So, one of the longest video game movie rumors that have been going on for the last few years has been about
years. This is like
Uncharted movie. It's still not been made.
Correct. Seth Rogen wanted to make an Uncharted movie.
Well, yeah. Apparently, Naughty Dog had been already talking to and had actually approached Seth Rogen and his writing partner Evan Goldberg, who are known for writing Superbad and they just recently wrote This Is the End, which is still in C.
Which I still want. You too?
Yes.
Maybe we should talk to Shane and David about doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should do.
Huh.
But yeah, so there's that. They apparently, Naughty Dog had already been approaching them. Yes, the studio approached them several times about doing it, but they never really did it. So, yeah. So that never happened. But imagine what if it did.
I do not think Seth Rogen would be a good choice for it.
No, Seth Rogen may not have been acting for it.
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying, is I don't think he would have been a good choice for it.
I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see a comedy Uncharted movie, because you think Uncharted, and there is a lot of funny things in Uncharted, but it also involves a bunch of shooting. So,
see, somehow, I see if they ever made one, somehow Nicolas Cage would end up being the person.
No. Nicolas Cage is too old. Same reason why Nathan Fillion can't do it, because he's too old.
But he's right for the part.
You have to have somebody younger.
But he's Nicolas Cage, okay?
I know. But
you get to find the clues. And it leads to the place where the treasure is.
If you're gonna go for somebody that's that old, I would just pull the trigger on Bruce Willis. Make him do it. Anyways,
Matt,
what?
He can't. You want to know why? He's on vacation. That's a joke. If for people out there that, I hope you watched the most recent Die Hard movie. It was awesome.
Anyways, next up. So, you want to talk about kiddie porn?
No. Never. We do not condone any such thing on this podcast.
Well,
we don't condone it.
However, somebody does, and he used to work at Silicon Knights with Dyack, and he was recently on. He was also recently part of the whole Kickstarter campaign, and then not Kickstarter campaign, to make a sequel to that game.
Sounds like they really got
Eternal Darkness.
So he was kicked from the Kickstarter?
Well, they were all kicked. That's another story. Anyways, but one of the developers that was on the team to make this spiritual sequel to Eternal Darkness got nailed by the cops for having some child pornography.
Do not say got nailed by the cops.
By the cops. Okay, he got caught having child pornography on his hard drive of his computer.
What is wrong with you people?
So the aftermath of this, as he's been let go from the studio, because obviously they don't want to be responsible for that guy anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was weird. So that happened.
Gosh.
Next up. So
don't people learn that you get caught if you do this stuff? I mean,
that's pretty much, you can say that about any crime anywhere, though.
Well, no.
People learn you can be caught for doing this stuff.
Well, somehow we're learning about every single month. Oh, another teacher did this with a student. Teachers, stop doing that with students.
What do you think? Anyways, so moving on. So Microsoft has a history of being weird with indie developers. One of the things that they have had an issue with in the past was they used to do a thing where they would charge studios, no matter how big or small they were, to patch the games that they had on Xbox Live.
To be a little more accurate, they do give one free patch.
Yes, that's true. However, anything after that, and you have to pay a fee. In the documentary Indie Game the Movie, which I watched, Phil Fish, who is the creator of Fez, went on a tirade about how he was trying to get Fez fixed through Microsoft's QA, and they just never worked, and so he just gave up at some point. And so now flash forward to today. Well, not today, but yes, recent news, which is that in part of their plan to become more indie-friendly, which they are working on, Microsoft has decided that the Xbox Live fees will stop, and they will not charge studios to patch games anymore. However, Phil Fish sees this, goes on Twitter, and rants about how they purposely waited to slight him.
No. He was upset that he was not notified of this, and there has not been any news yet whether or not it will go back in time. What's the term? It
will be retroactive.
Retroactive, that's it.
Grandfather it in.
Correct. It has not been announced whether or not the Fez creator will be able to patch his game, if he would even want to, because actually, from his mouth, he said that they are working on other games, and if they come out on consoles, they will not be on the Xbox One.
It just makes me laugh, and probably the main reason why I included this story is because I love the dichotomy of Phil Fish being reasonable for once about the complaining about this stuff, and then one thing changes and Phil Fish goes crazy again.
Okay, well,
if you've seen any game of the movie, Phil Fish is a nutcase.
Okay, I kind of want to now just because I will watch that on Netflix now.
I think it's still on there.
Well, I'll find it somewhere. This is the internet age. So, anyways,
it's crazy.
You do have to remember also that game came out over a year ago.
Yes,
so
that's true. No, that's like I keep saying. That's partly why I include this, because it's ludicrous that he thinks this is a slight in any way.
And that they should have notified him, even though his game came out over a year ago.
If anything, this is good news, because it means that people like him that want to make games like Fez won't have to have that stumbling block in the future.
Correct. And so hopefully, I hope that he is creating more crazy puzzler games.
Yes.
Hopefully hopefully some that are not broken like Fez was. Yes. We did end up running into some problems while we were.
I heard the PC version is the one to play because apparently it's fixed. It fixes all that stuff.
Well, hopefully he will fix the Xbox One. I shouldn't say the Xbox One. The Xbox 360 version
of Fez.
God, that's going to be so annoying.
Yes.
Well, luckily, when the Xbox One comes out, then it's just like a run-on.
Like, the Xbox One did come out in 2001. Okay. Anyway.
God, it's like the Fast and Furious conundrum of you have Fast and Furious, the Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious. Oh God, watch, the next movie they're going to make is going to be called Fast and Furious 2.
No, it's going to be Fast and Furious. Great.
Or it'll just be Fast Furious.
Okay, last story before we get to the big story of the week. Nintendo has finally commented on, apparently it's been trying to get the domain name WiiU.com from this dude.
By the way, I would like to put my 2 cents real quick in here, saying that Nintendo has no right.
No, they don't have a right. That's true.
No, but as for their complaint, they have no right.
No, I know.
Yeah.
They have no right. That is true. However, they're trying to use their largesse, which is one of my favorite words. They're trying to use their corporate largesse to pay this guy enough money to get it back. He is not budging.
Oh, no, that's the thing. They don't want to pay him.
Well, that too.
They believe that because they created a console called the Wii U, they deserve the rights to the website name, and that him holding on to them isn't fair.
But yeah, they're hoping that the fact that they're Nintendo persuades him.
That's not
actually a very good job.
No, here's the thing. He's holding them out for more money.
Yeah.
Which I think is, okay. He got the website domain name in 2004. This was 10 years before the Wii U was a thing.
Before the Wii was even a thing.
Well, this was like back when the Wii was announced.
2004? No, that's impossible. The Wii name wasn't announced until 2006.
I thought.
No. It was early 2006. They announced the name at the Tokyo Game Show, which was...
Anyway, he purchased the domain name in 2004. It's Nintendo's fault for naming it something where the domain name was already taken.
Now I'm wondering about whether how true that is, because he couldn't possibly have named it Wii U. He couldn't have known that.
No, maybe it was for something else.
Made up.
It was for something else that he was doing called Wii U.
Okay, maybe I'm starting to feel Nintendo's side of this now.
Anyway. No, I'm not at all. It's a domain name that someone else has purchased. They created a product and they decided to name it something that the domain name was already taken, and now they want the domain name? Well, they can't. Someone else has already purchased that right. That's like that's like someone already having Fourcredits, and it's just sitting there, and we're saying, oh, we deserve it because we named our podcast Fourcredits.
Yeah, but we're not Nintendo.
It doesn't matter. It's the same principle.
A big difference there.
It's the same principle. It's the principle of the matter. Personally, if I was him, I'd tell Nintendo I'll sell it to you for $10 million.
$10 million?
Yeah.
They'd never do that.
Exactly. And you know what? I bet he did offer some ridiculous price like that.
That's why they're not doing it. But yeah. So basically, the news story wasn't any of that. The news story was that they finally commented on it and said that they said they are going to actually use any legal ways of doing it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy that they're going that far.
It's actually a really interesting news story. I would look it up if you have the chance.
But yeah. E-news.
And then the craziness that's going on Oh my god, this came out of
this
nowhere.
morning. So it initially hit as a rumor/report from a website that said...
And then hours later, it became official.
But yeah, the original report was basically, Don Matrix leaving Xbox and will be joining Zynga. Now, joining Zynga was kind of a nebulous term when I first read it, and I was like,
okay, he's gonna just like...
But then a few hours later, like you said, it got confirmed, and I saw the whole story. He's been named CEO of Zynga.
That's correct.
So I was saying before the podcast, just briefly, like the craziest part about this is that this guy has been the most vocal and most visible person behind the Xbox One. He might as well be the Xbox One at this point.
That being said, I think it's time for Major Nelson to step up and take the position as the Xbox One.
He's not going to. He's a community guy. Steve Ballmer is probably next.
Oh God, no! We can't have a guy named Ballmer. No.
No, but Steve Ballmer is probably next in line in Xbox.
Oh God, that'd be a terrible guy. Every time he'd just be like Balls. Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer.
Ballmer. Anyways, so yeah,
it's already begun.
Zynga, who knows why he chose this?
I don't know why, because Zynga has been closing studios. They've actually been downsizing, and they're not becoming as profitable as they used to be.
That being said, this announcement made Zynga shares soar up 12%.
Really?
I saw that this morning.
I don't know why Don Matrix joining them would change the price, because
stockholders like when there's new leadership in general.
That doesn't make any sense.
I am not a stockholder. I don't know anything about the stock market, but
I am a stockholder, but it doesn't make any sense.
But that's the thing, that apparently is stockholders like it, and the numbers usually, you'll see numbers go up when there's new leadership, because it's
Which is weird, because actually stockholders hate change. So the fact that they like changing leadership, but I don't know.
Well, if it was trending down,
he's leaving from Microsoft to Zynga, so obviously, personally, I think they gave him the option to leave or be let go. Because
you think this was a Japanese company, kind of?
I think
we're technically going to fire you because somebody needs to take the hit on this.
It happens at Toyota all the time as well.
Well, yeah, like I said,
it's
a very Japanese way of doing it. That's what typically happens. Is somebody that's very visible takes a hit for when a product fails.
And I think that's what it is for the Xbox One.
That'd be weird.
Is that it's because they had to basically strip their console, all the money that they put into all the cool features and different stuff that it could do, were basically just thrown in the trash, and they had to have somebody take that hit.
Maybe he just felt pressured. Maybe he was like, I need to get off this shit.
I don't think so.
Maybe he had planned this when all the bad press was happening right after E3.
Trust me,
if he was planning it, why they rolled back the DRM.
No. If that would not be a reason for them to roll back DRM.
No. You know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. Like, maybe if he was already planning on leaving, maybe they decided, that's our last
The only reason why he would have been planning on leaving is that if he knew it was coming.
Well, yeah.
Because, trust me, after that, all the bad publicity and the fact that they did change that, somebody got let go, and it was him, not let go because...
So he quit before he could get fired? Is that what you're saying?
He was given the option to
quit. Yeah, somebody probably told him, was like, hey, you want to come over to Zynga? I got a gig for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, sure.
Something like that went down.
Because, I saw a brief thing, I guess the business magazine Fast Company is going to do a story tomorrow on Don Matrix, but still, it was done during when he was at Microsoft.
Okay.
And so I saw a brief excerpt from that, and they were talking about how one of his things is he doesn't do it well, again, grain of salt, because this is him talking about himself.
Correct.
But he says he doesn't do it for the money. He enjoys being in a leadership position, and he said he has some sort of quote that said he'd had any technology company.
You know what? At the same time, if you or I was offered the chance to be a spokesman for a company, the fan voice that we are for just about anything gaming, we would take it up in an instant and totally be in it just for the enjoyment of being able to do that.
For sure. It's the whole classic thing of, game. It was a running joke for a while that all the good game journalists that worked for like 1UP and stuff, when they quit 1UP, they got jobs as community managers for developers. Mm-hmm. And the whole running joke was it's because why wouldn't you? If you're a video game fan and a video game company wants you to work for them, why would you say no? And so that's why a lot of the writers, the awesome writers back there, ended up working for like Bungie and Respawn and all those.
Oh, and I finally heard. what's his name? The Adam Sessler finally popped up in the news recently, talking stuff for his not new studio, but the
Revision
studio
3.
Revision 3 works for now in California.
I watched a couple of the Revision 3 stuff. They're pretty cool.
San Diego?
Yeah, I think they're down in San Diego.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's right around our corner.
Yeah, seriously. Man. Ooh, they're hiring. Sorry. Sorry, I've been on a professional job hunt in the last few weeks. So.
Yeah.
Looking for gigs. Now I have this hot degree in my hands.
Hey, just to let you know, if you're looking to get into journalism, write some more stories for the website. And then you can put in your resume to check out the website.
Well, no, I'm already planning on doing that. But anyways.
I love how you were not an English major, though. Now I know.
No. But a degree, a degree, is a degree, to a certain extent. So.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree. So yeah. So
anyways, that's it for the news for you guys.
The news.
We would jump into the new releases, but there really isn't anything coming out this week.
So don't jump into a burning pool of new releases.
Okay.
Just don't do it.
There's that for you.
That idea.
So now
where's Mike? Stinking guy.
I have no idea. So now we're going to jump into our discussion, mainly on his part, for The Last of Us.
Discussion. We're like review. That's what we call these things.
I like to call it an open topic forum. No, it's time for the review of The Last of Us.
So, for those of you who don't know what this game is, and if not, where have you been for the last couple weeks? The Last of Us is a zombie game, but it's not just a zombie game, because it's a zombie game made by Naughty Dog, who made the Uncharted game.
It's not a zombie game.
It isn't, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
It isn't, it isn't.
It isn't.
It is because it has zombies in it, and the narrative
has zombie-esque things.
It has zombies in it, and it has narrative cliches, if you will, that happen to adhere to classic zombie narrative storytelling.
Where there's an infection that breaks out and it mutates people.
The world is a post-apocalyptic, kind of post-zombie apocalypse world.
Yes.
There are characters who must deal with the realities of the possibility that they could turn at any time and that their loved ones can turn at any time.
Well, if they get bitten.
Yes. Well, that's what I mean. And so those are all classic things of a zombie narrative. And this game has all those things. What it does that's different from a zombie game in a traditional sense
Mr. Romero would be proud.
What it does different is it's a Naughty Dog game. So if you played the Uncharted games, you kind of know what you're going into here.
I don't know if our audience knows Night of the Living Dead.
No,
that was a dead.
They're probably a little young.
That was a dead reference on
yes,
them.
Yes, exactly. Oh, young for Romero. Think Dead Rising. That's all you need to think.
Except less zombies.
Yeah.
Much fewer zombies.
But still shopping mall. Well, that's the one after that. But anyways, so if you played the Uncharted games, you kind of know what the basic setup here is. You are a character. It's a third-person shooter for the most part. You are taking cover and you're shooting pop, like the Uncharted games. There is some puzzle solving in the way of grab this ladder, put it against this wall, climb said ladder, help partner character get up to high ledge. That's all there is.
You know what I would call it? I would call it Still Alive, less climbing, more zombies. Or zombies. Because there weren't any in Still Alive.
I Am Alive, you mean? The game's called I Am Alive, not
Which one was Still Alive?
Still Alive is the name of the song that plays during the credits of Portal.
I feel like that was also a game.
No, you're thinking of I Am Alive.
Okay, well, I know I was thinking of I Am Alive. I feel like Still Alive is a game.
I have no idea if Still Alive is a game. Anyways, so yeah, it is kind of like that, where it's very much a survival game. Unlike Uncharted, it doesn't expect you to go around shooting down. I told you.
I Am Alive pops up under Still Alive.
Yes.
That is the game I was trying to say.
Yeah. It's very much like where it's unlike the Uncharted games though. It takes it has an emphasis on stealth and survival.
Sneaky.
It wants you to sneak. It wants you to sneak up on enemies and use shivs to take them down really fast, or to choke them out, and to no, not like that.
Oh my god! I was not even going that way.
There's a lot of throwing bricks and bottles to distract enemies. And there's a lot of I want you to be strategic, and that ends up being a lot of fun actually. And I
it's a
don't
lot
really
like Far Cry 3
games.
in that scenario.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that. They throttle your equipment, especially on hard mode, as I'm finding out, where ammo and melee weapons get harder and harder to find and aren't super available when you need them, including some interesting kind of mechanics, which include having the same bunch of stuff that makes the first aid kits also make the Molotovs. So it makes you kind of choose which one you want more. Do you want to heal yourself, or do you want to have the super awesome Molotov?
Doesn't it already do that in the normal one?
What do you mean?
In the normal playthrough, it does that.
Well, no, I'm talking about the game as a whole. I'm not just talking about
I thought you were talking about hard. I was thinking,
no.
It's like I did that same thing.
No, it does the same thing.
In my normal playthrough, I ended up having everything maxed out. You know, med kits, Molotovs, everything. And then I kept collecting stuff, and my whole thing was full, and I couldn't use stuff fast enough.
I got to that point by the end of the game as well. But early on,
see, I was there like mid to like a little bit from between beginning and middle.
I guess I was just using more stuff.
Yeah, I was.
But yeah, a lot of that stuff. So yeah, it does kind of try to throttle your experience, so that way you're not Nathan Drake assassinating everybody like an Uncharted game. It does try to bring a more realistic tone to it, which also plays into the shooting itself. Unlike Uncharted, Nathan Drake, it seems like he knows his way around a gun. You can pretty much shoot just straight forward. In this game, you actually have to unlock ways to calm down your weapon, because there's a lot of sway in some of the weapons.
Basically, you have to get more focused to increase your accuracy.
So yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of crafting. Crafting works on the fly, so you can make stuff like first aid kits while you're walking. Even you can do upgrades for your weapons via benches that you'll find.
Yeah, they use benches.
So there's the bench mechanic.
Just about anything really. Dead Rising series originally, the most recent one.
Benchy stuff, huh?
The original, benches are always used for upgrading. I don't know why.
That's a good one.
It's just a bench. They figure.
Why not?
Where do you upgrade stuff? The bench. Can't you just sit down on the ground? Nope.
I mean, as per the bench core gameplay, it doesn't do anything super surprising, but it's very solid. It's very the stealth is good. I don't like stealth games typically, and I found myself wanting to keep in stealth as long as I could. But even when you do get into combat, you're pretty capable, and the weapons are fun to use. It's fun to headshot guys. The melee weapons are really, you get that really awesome rush when you get the upgraded melee weapon, just take somebody out in one hit.
Yeah, before we leave from the stealth marker, let's go ahead and talk about the experiences that I told you that I experienced and that I showed you.
Playing on hard mode, I'm having your experience now.
You are.
I wonder if something happened in the patch. Because,
well, no.
Or maybe not. Maybe
mine is before patch.
But basically, the thing that the internet has been attached to and has been proved by a co-host here is that it's similar to BioShock Infinite. Your partner, which in most cases in this game is Ellie, will be right in front of an enemy's noggin, and the enemy will not care.
They will not even notice that there is something there. That being said, the minute you get spotted, they immediately go to attack you and bash your skull in.
Yeah.
Now, you had a different experience on your own.
Yeah. Initially, I had a completely different experience where there's one time where I was completely hidden, and Ellie just walks cavorts right to where I am. Guy sees her, and she actually engages in combat before I'm even ready. And I'm like, well, that's kind of neat. That's the other side of this coin, is that yes, that's true, but unlike BioShock Infinite, your partners will help you. They won't just toss you items like Elizabeth will. They will shoot, and they will take down dudes.
By the way, what is it with female co-op, partners being called, starting with an E?
Oh, yeah, huh. E, yeah. Well, I mean, you also have Tess in this game, which starts with T.
Moving on before we... Yeah, Yeah, no. So it was the funniest, the one that I only played probably a half an hour to an hour in front of you tops.
Yeah.
And during that time, here she comes, just running around. The guy's like there. She's like running around the guy coming over to where I am.
I mean,
and he's just like, da, da, da.
We talked about this when we reviewed Bioshock Infinite as well. Like, there's a reason why they had to do it that way, because otherwise, you'd be screwed over all the time by your AI partners not being smart enough.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It just does kind of, but I think it's worse in this game because it takes you out. Because unlike Bioshock Infinite, everything's brightly colorful. It knows it's a video game. It's a fantasy world. This is very much set in a reality that involves zombies, and so it tries to be as realistic as possible with the zombie narrative. So
you just tried to mix reality and zombies.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
it can't be done.
I read an article, I think it was on Kotaku, where they were basically talking about how apparently this specific, like a science publication website or something, did a thing where apparently this specific way that zombies can spread is what they think is the most realistic way it could possibly happen. Because apparently there's actually these spiders that have these weird like these fungal infection things going on, where they have like growths like clickers. And there's actually pictures of these spiders, and they're not necessarily zombies, but yes, they've been infected with these things, and they become infected spiders, and they have like these weird they almost look like sea fungus things coming off of them. You should Google it. There was a gaff thread about it that I opened, looked at a few pictures of these spiders, freaked out and closed it. Because I'm like, I do not want to look at these anymore. Keep talking. Look at them later.
Keep talking.
No, don't look at them now. You're going to distract me.
Keep talking.
So regardless, I guess that's probably a good segue to talk about the story, because, to wrap up gameplay real fast, you pretty much know what to... Not Last of Us Spider. You're not going to find anything there.
Oh. Fine, I know what I'll do.
Anyway. Maybe zombie spider. Yeah, zombie spider fungus.
Keep talking about the game. Keep talking about the game.
Anyways, to wrap up the gameplay stuff, it is very similar to an Uncharted game, except slower paced, more realistic. The shooting isn't quite as fast. But if you're kind of used to that, you'll know what to expect. Yeah, that's it. That's totally it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the stuff they base the clicker design stuff on, is that this weird fungal infection stuff. That's based on something that's really happening. Yeah!
That's awkward.
It's so creepy.
That's awkward.
Bringing dead spiders back to life.
Wait, bringing it back to life? Or...
I've heard...
The thing is dead?
I've heard both. It's like some people say that this thing is resurrecting them. Other people think it's just making them look weird.
I think it's just making them look weird.
But yeah, it's a weird phenomenon.
What the... Why did you tell me to drop image there? Give me the image.
Yeah,
so that's Photoshop.
See, video game offers, this is what I was talking about. This was the link to the link on Salon. Yeah, video game offers first semi-plausible zombie apocalypse.
Anyway, so what are you thinking about the game so far?
Oh, sorry.
Explain a little bit more about it.
Sorry. You're distracting me with these pictures. Wally?
A picture of Wally pops up when you type in zombie spider fungus.
Sure, why not? So it's like a little bit more realistic than an Uncharted thing. But if you're used to that kind of a third-person gameplay, you'll hop right into this with no problem. The gameplay itself, it does some neat things during some of the cutscenes. It's very much like it tries to... It's not too much exciting. Unlike... actually similar to Bioshock Infinite, it's very much based mechanically on the games that came before it. So it's not super much of a gameplay thing, but it's solid and it plays well and it's fun.
And that's all you could ask for in a game these days.
The highlight, though, is the story. And I'm going to go into that. Just like Bioshock Infinite, actually. I felt when I was writing the text review of this, I felt very similar to how I felt writing the Infinite review, because it's very much like the game, it does a good job at doing what it needs to do, but that's not the reason why you want to play this. The reason why you want to play The Last of Us is the production design and the story. So Naughty Dog, if you play any of the Uncharted games, you know how they have an attention to detail when it comes to cutscenes, when it comes to characters, and they pull through here.
They're like the American version of Square Enix.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, they really want to focus on making the cutscenes look beautiful. Needless to say, the whole game is probably the best thing on PS3 right now, which means arguably the best thing this generation on console. I think.
No.
I think it's really impressive.
It's good, but it's not the best thing.
What would you say is the best? I'm curious.
You're curious?
I'm curious.
I think you said I'm Chris. I'm like...
I'm Chris. I'm Chris, clearly.
Yes, you are me. I am Matt.
Yeah, except that doesn't work with the shirt.
I am Matt.
Keep going. What's your...
Oh, God. I was going to go with best looking game of this generation. You'd have to give me a minute. I have to really look deep into this. Because there have been some really good looking games.
Oh, yeah,
Halo 4 was very well.
Game.
Despite
Gears
all of the
3.
problem, Gears of War Judgment actually...
both of them.
But
really
Gears of
awesome.
War Judgment was much better than Gears of War 3. All the lighting and stuff, the textures were much better. Gears of War 3 was already being praised as, the masterpiece of its time. But
Far Cry 3, also pretty.
Pretty, but I'd say Blood Dragon's prettier.
Blood Dragon, yeah.
All the purple.
Interesting. Okay, we're getting off the subject. But anyways, so yeah, it looks pretty. But yeah, so they have an attention to detail when it comes to cutscenes and story design. So basically, The Last of Us' storyline is very kind of in line with modern zombie stuff, which is like something like a Walking Dead, where it's not so much about the infection itself, it's not so much about what caused it and how we're going to get rid of it. Well,
it's more about surviving it.
It's more about the people. It's more about the people that are behind the apocalypse, and they're trying to live day to day. And so it kind of starts with your character Joel, who loses his. I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, it's not a spoil.
It happens
in the very first
30 minutes, but
and it's something that people. Actually, it is sort of a spoiler.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Because when I saw the trailers for the game, and then I saw the game itself, I thought that...
Yes, I did too.
You did too, right?
Where I was like, oh,
Yeah.
This is going to be the case, and then it wasn't.
And then it wasn't. Then you're like...
Then I saw...
Then it was like, it's going to be that stuff within him. And,
So without spoiling it, he goes through a loss at the beginning of the game, and then must kind of pick up where he left off 20 years later. And by 20 years later, he and his partner Tess are working on basically it's kind of unclear, but a line of dialogue suggests that they are a smuggling operation where they bring in drugs and weapons for other survivors. They're hunters. They're part of the hunters, which are basically like they survive the apocalypse by
doing what they have to do.
Doing what they have to do, exactly. There's this other affiliation called the Fireflies, which are kind of more of a organized militia kind of thing that has been designed to kind of, fight for a change.
Which
they
doesn't
want
really make
to
sense
save the world.
It doesn't really make sense because then wrapped around all of that is the government and the army, and it's like.
So it's kind of like three different factions fighting amongst each other in this zombie apocalypse. And so Joel, your character that you play as, and Tess kind of set off, and they end up having to, long story short, they end up coming across a girl named Ellie. She's 14. She has a secret, and the Fireflies want her. And so your goal is to deliver Ellie to the Fireflies. Now, the reason why is something that I don't want to reveal, because it's something that gets revealed.
No, the reason why that you're transporting her is because you want your guns.
Well, that's also true, yeah.
Basically, the deal as to why you're transporting her from one place to another is that the leader of the Fireflies has the guns that are yours, I guess, and some guy owed them to you or something like that, and so you want your guns.
Yeah, but needless to say, the end result of this is that Joel and Ellie develop a camaraderie.
Relationship.
I was trying to avoid saying
it's a relationship.
But yes, they develop a camaraderie that continues in the game. And
by the way, she has the most foul mouth of a 15-year-old.
She's a sailor for a 14-year-old.
14. I can never get her age right. I thought she was 12.
She's 14.
I was like 15.
She is 14.
She's 14.
But yeah, so she does.
Yeah.
She curses more than Joel does.
That is true. In fact, he calls it on her, I think.
Yes, he does.
Something about how you a filthy mouth or something like that.
Yeah, he is a grown man, but he doesn't curse as much as his 14-year-old girl. Anyways,
anything happens, their initial reaction is, fuck!
Yeah, pretty much. It's so funny though. There's this interesting juxtaposition at the beginning, because before she starts cursing all the time, she's initially very 14-year-old. Like she's very like gosh and golly and all this stuff, and then as soon as it's the
no 14-year-old.
No, really.
Gosh,
I forget which one it is, but she says one of those in the first cutscene, or not the first cutscene, but in the first part where you're walking around, and I was instantly wait, really? Then I remembered, that's right. As soon as the zombies start attacking me, she starts cursing.
I'm gonna say she said gosh and not
golly. I don't remember. Something like that. So that's the basic plot, and it goes further than that. But the most interesting is what they do with introducing new characters. Is every once in a while you meet a new character that will come into play for some sort of important thing, and each one is really interesting. They did really interesting things with each of the characters.
And they played with the LGBT community.
Yes, there's a character who does that. There's also a couple of characters that you meet down the line that are also. I can't say anything about them.
You can't say anything about them. That's the problem, is that everything you say about this game, this is a spoiler, pretty much.
But they're great. But yeah, each character I was consistently surprised with, this is going to be just one of those typical characters. But no, they ended up surprising me a few times, including some of the strongest female characters I've seen probably in any game ever. They did a really good job of characterizing the females. But the most interesting thing about the story, I can't exactly explain why I feel this way, but the most interesting thing that the story does by the end of the game, and you're not even to this point yet, is that by the end of the game, it really makes you question what the main character Joel is doing. And it does this in a really interesting way at the very end of the game, where in most games, including Bioshock Infinite to a certain extent. Well, I guess this was also kind of in Bioshock Infinite, where the game plays around with the expectations of you as a gamer. As a gamer, you become, with stuff like Skyrim and stuff, you become very comfortable with the idea of you controlling the world and you controlling your destiny as the player. This is another one of those games, just like Bioshock Infinite and Bioshock 1, that kind of plays with the idea of you are making your character do something that you may not necessarily agree with as a player, but you don't have a choice because that is the story that is playing out. There is a decision at the end of the game that Joel makes that you have no control over. And it is very interesting, and it makes the ending very compelling.
Dang it, now I'm going to have to...
Yes, you have to finish this game.
I'm going to have to restart this game.
Right. Just play it on easy.
Well, I did beat half the game in 5 hours or less. So.
If I were you, I'd get through it on easy. Skip all cutscenes.
Skip through and just go stab everything,
and then start watching cutscenes. But yeah,
obviously.
But yeah, that would be a fun way of playing it. So that way, then you could go into the later modes in a New Game Plus.
Well.
So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that I didn't cover. Oh, multiplayer.
Yeah.
Actually, need to talk about it because so when I had written the written review, I had not played multiplayer yet, but now I have, and it's made me like the whole package more than I even did before.
Well, that's good.
Multiplayer is third-person shooter class-based, so it's very much like it's similar to the class stuff that they were doing with Gears Judgment.
Let's say more. Team Fortress 2. Because that was Gears of War Judgment that turned out, they were sort of saying as that was the new multiplayer. No, that's a multiplayer mode in Gears of War Judgment. True. Gears of War is still Gears of War.
But yeah, so it's a class-based system sort of like a
Team Fortress 2.
A Team Fortress or a Counter-Strike where it's you pick your loadout or you create a loadout. It's Call of Duty-esque and there are certain ways you can outfit yourself, but ultimately you can turn it into a not that. You don't have to do the class stuff, it's just that's how it starts.
Okay.
When it turns into a Call of Duty kind of thing where you can create your own loadout after that.
So it's the same as Call of Duty then, because it starts out with 5 categories that you choose from. You know, they got the sniper, the light gun, the mini machine gun, whatever, go down the list.
The most interesting thing it does, though, is a couple of things. First is kind of a fun little window dressing thing. It has a meta game to it. And what I mean by meta game is that you'll have the individual matches, but each of those matches is a day in your clan's life. You pick at the beginning a affiliation. You can either be a hunter or a fighter. And so that's part of a bigger metagame, which is who ends up winning over the other. But the smaller version of that is that you have a clan of people. You are the breadwinner, essentially, for a civilization that you're starting. And so, or a city, like a small little village of people. And initially, the game asks you if you want to hook up your Facebook account. Now, you might think, oh, Facebook integration, that means it's going to spam everywhere as well, it's going to be annoying, right? No.
Yeah. No?
No. In fact, the first thing it says is that it will not post anything on your behalf on Facebook.
Then why?
Why? This is the fun part, and this is the window dressing part. It has no effect on your actual gameplay of the game, but what it does is if you hook it up to your Facebook account, it will take the names of your Facebook friends, and in the middle of matches, while you're waiting for a match to propagate, it'll say people in your clan what they're doing right now. For example, it'll say random name, and it'll say from your friends list, it'll say so-and-so is making a fire, or so-and-so is grabbing materials, or so-and-so is learning how to catch a fish. And it'll say like that, but it'll populate this with actual pictures of your names from your Facebook
creepy.
Names. It's hilarious! And so like one time it said Tandy Shields is learning how to sew. And I was like, I'm pretty sure she already knows.
Okay, you just said someone else's name, but you probably should have just used me.
Oh yeah, but actually you're not in my town yet. How it works is that as you add, one of the mechanics is that you add people as you go on. You add survivors.
You didn't add me!
No. You don't personally. It randomly propagates them. So when you add, say, when it says +4 people, it'll say blah 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 join your clan, blah 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 join your clan. And so it picks 4.
So have any of our friends joined your clan?
Oh yeah, plenty. Evan Anderson died. He's dead? In my playthrough of The Last of Us, Evan
Anderson is dead.
But no, I haven't gotten you yet.
Okay, that is fine. You better not kill me.
But yes, that's the other part of the metagame. So
I did not kill that woman.
So the way it works is that it's a 12-week campaign, per se, and each match is a day. And the weeks is also how it does your leveling. So every week, once a week passes, you'll go up a level. So because I have just passed the threshold for week 2, I am level 2. So that's how it does the matchmaking too. So at the end of every week, you have it'll present a challenge, and the challenges are sort of like what Gears of War was doing for its campaigns, where it will introduce a new thing that you have to do. And so in this case, though, your clan is on the line. And so if you do terribly and don't do what you chose to do, whether it be do 3 or more executions or 3 or more downs with this hunter rifle, etc., etc. If you don't follow through, your clan members will die, and you lose the campaign if all of your clan members die, and you have to start over and pick an affiliation again. Yeah, it's kind of cool though, because it gives an extra thing besides just the moment-to-moment matches. That said, moment-to-moment matches are fun, and it's very it's a
that being said, do you drop down below a level 2?
I actually don't. I don't know
do you
how that
level
works.
Resets?
I don't know if the level resets yet because I haven't lost.
I think it should, because that way you could see someone who has never lost or something. Oh, they're level 500 or something. It keeps going up. Oh God, what if you were like a level 100 and you lost? It's like
all that progress.
Screw this.
And so and the progress also doesn't unlock system the same way with that as well, because during the other thing is that the matches, it's not just a team deathmatch. In fact, team deathmatch is not even a term that the game uses. There's 2 modes, and there's one that's it does the Gears of War ticket system essentially, where you have start out with 20. Both teams start out with 20 tickets essentially, and each respawn costs a ticket. Yes, exactly. It's that. Is that system.
So it is a team deathmatch.
It's that's the main mode, and then the second...
So it's a team deathmatch.
It just doesn't call it that, because of what I'm going to go into in a second. So there's that, and then there's also an execution mode where there's no respawns, deaths are final.
So it's execution Gears of War.
Yes, there's both of those modes. But the thing is that it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to get kills to be on the top of your team. The other it does a point system.
Okay.
And the point system, you can get points. It calls them parts in the game, just like single player. You're getting parts. It's supposed to be you're gathering supplies for your clan, which is why your success determines whether your clan members live or die. But yeah, so you're getting parts, and parts is how it does the winning team. And so if you do really, and you don't just get parts from killing guys, even though you do, a parts will drop when you kill a dude, and it'll be a little blue like cylinder on the thing. You pick that up from their dead body, and only you can see that. If you make the kill, you get the parts.
Okay.
But the other way to get parts is that there'll be toolboxes scattered around the level, and they're tiered. So if you start getting a toolbox, they'll just have stuff for crafting, like first aid kits and etc., and Molotovs and stuff. But if you find several in succession, they'll start having parts in them too. So if they're really, really good at surviving and not getting engaged in firefights and not dying a lot, they will get probably more parts than the dude going around getting all the kills, depending on how your team is.
Correct.
So you can be successful in this game without having to kill a single dude, even though it's in your best interest too, because you'll be in danger.
Correct.
So it's an interesting way of playing around with the concept. It's a way where you can tell somebody, hey, hang back, get parts for us, because you're not a very good shot. If that's a possibility, then you can do that. So there's a way where, even 7,000 to 393 degrees in Irvine right now.
Okay, now that I distracted you, go back.
Anyway.
I love that you had to announce that.
I had to say that. So it makes it a little more interesting than if it was just kill, 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 even though it kind of is if you're playing it for that.
Yes, but there is another way to play it.
Yes, it's an option if you're not quite as good. So the way it's...
So which way do you play?
I go back and forth, actually, depending on how good the other team is. If I'm dying a lot, I will get to the point where, like, okay, I'm going to hang back, and I'm going to get some parts
You're just going to get some parts,
and survive. And you get bonus parts if you're the last alive, which gives you even more impetus to not get involved in heavy fights. So it's
almost like the game doesn't want you to involve in
getting the combat. That's actually the philosophy behind it, is that it's not it's killing the other enemy team is a win scenario.
It's more of a go around and collect stuff. Now, if you run into somebody, take them down, but otherwise, just go about your way.
Yeah. The philosophy is supposed to be survival. It's supposed to be, they're trying to make it as much like the single player as possible. And the thing they grabbed from it is that it's not so much who you kill, it's how long you live. Okay. That's supposed to be the idea of living in this environment.
Yeah.
Is you want to survive as long as possible.
Makes sense.
So there you go. The other last thing that they do that's kind of interesting is their kind of answer to the Call of Duty kill streak thing is not a kill streak at all. What they do is, for the parts that you earn, end up being a currency that you can use during a match. Okay. And so other games have done similar things like this.
Yeah.
Where if you get to a certain threshold, the game will let you know between deaths. And it'll say, hey, you can afford this now. When you're creating your loadouts, though, you can choose what item that is that you can buy. So what I ended up doing is I like this one zoomable pistol a lot. I forget what it's called in the game. El Diablo or something like that. It's like the Pistole. It's like Pistole, which is why I like it. Yes. But it has scope this time. And so I chose that as my prize that I could buy. You don't have it unless you buy it with parts. It's an interesting play. So that way, but you can only do it if you earn a certain number of parts. So by the time I get 370 parts, I can buy that pistol. But when I run out of ammo for it, there's no way to get that kind of ammo. You have to buy ammo through the same in-game store. It's kind of clever. the way that they kind of mess around with that stuff. So I was pleasantly surprised with it. I'm in my 3rd week of that campaign right now, and it's pretty fun.
All right.
I like it a lot.
Well, good to hear. Yes, that is The Last of Us, which just came out a couple weeks ago, exclusively on PS3.
So yeah, that pretty much does it. I think I've talked enough about that.
You did not give it a score.
I did not give it a score. I did on the written review, and I still stand by it. I'm giving it a 5. Yes, I am aware it has some issues. We talked about some of the glitches last time on the podcast. And yes, I know it is not perfect. However, as a package, it is very impressive. I thought the story did a lot of interesting things. I thought the gameplay was solid and fun and replayable. And now that I'm into the multiplayer, it's even better than the Uncharted multiplayers were. I think it's the top
and that's
on
good
PS3
to hear,
right
because
now. It's not as floaty. It's not so much about.
Honestly, the Uncharted multiplayer I didn't like, and along with Tomb Raider, which was like the same exact way, I didn't like that.
This, the way that this further differentiates from that is because Uncharted multiplayer was made a little floatier because you had the ability to jump and climb things.
This and takes the same thing with Tomb Raider.
Yeah, this takes that out, and so it feels more grounded.
That being said, Gears of War Judgment is now a game that plays with vertical tiers.
Yeah,
so
that's true. This does that without having... I mean, there are things you can climb, but it's like the single player. Okay. Where if you see a window, you can climb into the window. But it's not Uncharted where you can, I see this train, I'm going to get on top of the train,
Yeah.
It's less specific. So, I don't know. I enjoyed the single player and the multiplayer a lot. I think it's a really excellent kind of swan song for the PS3. I think it's a good one. And if you like Naughty Dog's previous efforts, this is a no-brainer. You have to pick this up.
If you like Crash Bandicoot, pick it up.
Yes, especially if you like Crash Bandicoot. So...
Alright, so that's our 5 out of 5 review for The Last of Us. And to make sure to, tune in next week. We'll talk about more. We'll talk about Deadpool and crazy stuff going on through the gaming industry. Hopefully something happens this week. I don't know. Maybe there won't be anything to talk about.
I think we've exhausted our
We'll find something to talk about. We'll be here.
I will wear this on my head.
Hopefully you will too. He will wear his phone on his head.
Phone head. But don't call me phone head. Don't call me phone head. I have a phone on my head, but don't call me phone head. Okay, you're in.
Okay, so make sure to follow us at Facebook.
Make sure.
Or if you're not, or if you're not in the mood for that, go ahead and check us out on Twitter.
At Fourcredits.
You want to? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we have a website too, fourcredits.com.
And make sure to subscribe to us at youtube.com/fourcredits, where hopefully this episode will be posted.
Hopefully.
We'll have to check that stuff out.
It looks funny. I turned my glasses up there. This is a visual gag, guys. Doesn't work over the audio.
Doesn't really work for me. I don't.
Anyways. Alright.
This is really difficult to do.
See you guys next time, guys.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Sorry about that.
Bye.
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 Bye. No, we're still on.
Doesn't matter, no one's watching.
Gosh.